Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
What he represents is what they hate. And it's not a developer. It's not a brash billionaire with a complicated hairdo. What he represents is the idea someone can win the presidency without being cultivated in the culture of corruption that is politics. That's what they hate. Do you ever notice the never-Trumper frauds? Those establishment half-assed Republicans. I don't even know what the hell that means, Republican. They never wanted to stop the steal of our money. And it starts really the exponential grab of policies created to be graft starts with one scallywag from Chicago.
The allegations are so absurd that even Republican-controlled committees, looking into it, have dismissed them. And, Attorney General Barr has dismissed them. But
Bill Barr, whose father was the dean that hired an unqualified college dropout by the name of Epstein to be a teacher in a very exclusive all-boys college. You see, this is the culture of corruption that we are supposed to pretend is our representation. You're supposed to pretend that fat, useless child of an insider, Bill Barr, he's got the best interest of the country. Oh, you mean the way his father did? The way he did? The way the Bushes did? The ones who have always undermined the people. You know, most of us are old enough, hopefully, to remember Ronald Reagan. Do you know the reason it's called voodoo economics when Reagan would talk about capitalism or trickle down? That was George Bush Sr., that crooked rat pig. George Bush Sr. ran against Reagan, undermined him at every turn. And when he became the nominee in order for the National Republican Party, the GOP, to give Reagan money, he had to put Bush Sr. as his VP. He didn't want to do that. Everybody knew what Bush Sr. was. A step and fetch. Say it to your face, stab you in the back. Read my lips. There will be no new taxes. Not 30 days later, like a schizophrenic Democrat overweight woman, raises the taxes. And that was normal. That's what they want to get back to. Now, Tillis and, what's his name, Squirrel? Connor? Whatever. The guy from Texas, the senator, who lost. He's lame duck. This is what they're going to do. They have until November to obstruct every move. So when it comes to appointing Donald Trump's appointee, arguably the most successful in the shortest period of time, Todd Blanche.
Today we are here to announce the results of the 2026 National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. This announcement marks the greatest combined federal and state effort in combating healthcare fraud in history. Thanks to the leadership of President Trump and the Vice President and all those folks standing behind me and next to me.
Well, what happened when, after Joe Biden stole the 2020 election, and Republicans get all this steam like the Tea Party? Why didn't you talk about this? The same thing that happened after Obamacare. That's what happened. And Todd Blanche, never working in government, goes into a very important position and arrests more criminals, degenerates, thieves who are stealing billions and billions of dollars, distributing drugs across the country. He has done more and been more of a success as an AG than any other AG in the history of America. Why would two Republicans, Tillis
Senator, you've received almost $700,000 from the illegal labor lobby. Is that why you voted against the Save America Act?
Can you tell me who the illegal labor lobby is?
Yes, it's contractors, general contractors, hospitality companies, industries, construction companies and industries.
How much do you know about the which Save America Act are you talking about?
The one that you voted against, sir.
Okay. And so you're asking
they don't even know
if I voted, I was against it because...
You're receiving almost $700,000 from these lobbyists.
Do you have any idea what a remarkably silly question that is?
I think it's a pretty important one. I think your constituents want to know why you're betraying them.
Some math. Do you know what my election cycle, the total all-in election cycle cost was in 2020? It's $300 million. Do you honestly believe that I would make a policy decision based on that?
I don't.
Yes. I think you'd hit your mother in the face if she was standing on $50. What the frack kind of retort is that? You took that $700,000 and you want people to believe, well, it doesn't mean anything because it's only $700,000? And by the way, you said cycle. So that means the other side too? Or does that just mean the money you get to keep in your coffer? And it's the same thing for Cornyn. And these are the never-Trumper obstructionists that are working tirelessly to not just stop the SAVE Act. By the way, anybody hear from Mitch? Yo, Mitch! How you doing today? You do your push-ups this morning? Dead. Did anybody hear from Tillis? Cornyn? Did you hear from these guys about why they want to upend the most successful attorney general in this country's history in the shortest period of time? Anybody?
Two really important ones. The first is, in the first quarter of last year, we revoked billing privileges for fraudsters of 1,006 providers. Pretty good result, we thought, at the time. This same period this year, the first quarter, we made 1,400 revocations. That's a 40% increase over last year. So 40% more revocations. We also have payment suspensions where we just don't pay the bill because we don't think it's legitimate. And this is impressive. The first half of this year, we made 1,000 Medicare payment suspensions. 1,000. That's a lot of people. Nearly 800, by the way, from one state, California. For a similar period last year, we made 219 suspensions. So a 500% increase in payment suspensions because we're using tools now that historically had been used marginally. Now, these efforts brand all kinds of new tools for Medicare and Medicaid. The fraud war room that has been put together is a purpose-built tool to identify, track, and neutralize bad actors, often from foreign countries, much more effectively than the old system.
In just Minnesota, the fraud is in excess of $11 billion. Billion with a B. That's $11,000 million. Just stolen. Just stolen. And yet still, the Marxist mafia, who's pretending to be shocked by the idea that they're out of the closet communists now. They're going to get rid of the Senate and the rest of it. They're still promising to expand these very boondoggles, the very policies that were created to be frauded, to be stolen from the future. This isn't redistribution of taxes anymore. This is how you get the $30 trillion in 18 years. They created policy. When I say they, the government, Republicans and Democrats, specifically Democrats under Obama, and specifically, created all of this so that it would be extremely difficult for us to ever have justice, ever have prosecutions. And that's the same reason Republicans are obstructing Todd Blanche.
There are 5 things House Democrats are going to do once we have the majority. We're going to push for Medicare for all.
You know who this is, Squirrel? The greatest trader in all of speculation, in all of gambling, and everything to do with what made us the youngest and the richest country, because we could allow people to buy a piece of different companies. It was a great thing. And then government said, you know what? Why don't we corrupt it? And we'll create grants, policies, and tax abatements, and we'll give it to specific companies. But only after Ro Khanna, Nancy Pelosi, and other scums become very rich. $170 million in insider trading profit in just 7 years. Ro Khanna doubling his net worth, which, by the way, he got from his wife. Woof.
There are 5 things House Democrats are going to do once we have the majority. We're going to push for Medicare for all. Health care is a human right. We're going to push for a living wage. We need a living wage by 2032 that will get to $25 an hour. We're going to push for unions, for the right of every person to join a union, and for...
What the frack does that mean? Want to join a union? Join a union. What he means is he'll point for the absolute regulatory necessity for unions to be involved in all these services, not just the ones where they middle a son taking care of his mother so Medicare pays enough so that everybody gets their beak wet and we get robbed of billions and billions. Don't worry, SEIU suck-ons. You'll get your beak wet.
Federal contractors to be labor neutral and recognize unions. We're going to push for child care
right
at $10
here, I got
a
your
day.
Union. Right
and we're
here.
going to push to end aid to Israel that committed a genocide in Gaza.
How come we're not going to push to investigate insider trading? How come we're not going to arrest scum the way Todd Blanche has been doing it? And the reason is Barack Obama's got it just the way he wants it. He can steal money and elections. Can't you, Barack? Well, he likes a big, broad squirrel. Likes a small waist on a broad with big, wide shoulders. He likes a girl that looks a lot like a guy.
This is an example, I think, of a larger problem.
Is it her feet? Those are large, and I would assume they smell like a problem. Woof!
Well, two larger problems.
There are two of them.
Which don't get as much attention, understandably, when you've got high unemployment and a pandemic raging.
Well, she looks silly, squirrel, with small feet. How would she balance? It's impossible. Yardstick of ass crack.
Because it doesn't touch people's day-to-day lives, but one of the central foundation stones of a democracy is the idea that you do not allow the politicization of the criminal justice system.
Boy, that makes you want your head pop off. Do you mean like that big fat meat face girl who pretends to be a judge in Milwaukee and hid a little illegal alien underneath her robe? Which, by the way, kid, if you want to earn your citizenship the rough way, there's no rougher way than under her robe. Or you're talking about the 3 crooked-ass judges that overturned jury convictions of these Somalian pirates stealing our money? Or are you talking about the legacy in decades, 100 years of laughable corruption right there in Crook County? Be specific, will you, Barack?
The intelligence system, the military, right? That is stuff that you keep out of politics.
Is it? Is it, though? You know, this is the thing, right? Never forget, Squirrel, when you talk to these gypsy liars, thieves, and frauds, any Democrat, the accusation is the practice is true. But once they're in the corner, then they give a little jujitsu to the reality of how they operate, because that's all this traitor, this thief, this fraud ever did.
The implications of this are, frankly, nothing short of historic. Over 100 documents that we released really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an issue that is so serious it should concern every single American.
It doesn't concern every single American because we have, in at least 10% of the counties, the same ones that would vote for a pickle jar, like in Maine for senator, the same thieving ones in Minnesota, forget about Illinois, flush it, or California, those 10%, and that's it, only 10% of the counties that want to steal our money. That's what they call their economy. And that cancer has spread to great states. Therein lies the problem. Why else would no Democrats, none, go to any of the hearings about fraud? Have you heard one elected Democrat say, I demand the money back? I want to see prosecutions, ever? Have you seen one? Of course not. Because that's the only way they can get rich, by stealing other people's money. 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers.